Hello. Welcome back to Life After Plus One. I'm Leanne, your podcast host and your single parent mentor and coach. And today I want to talk about something that's really big in today's culture. And that's naming things, putting a name on something. And you see it's just so common in the world of dating and relationships. And that's what we're dealing with when we're a single parent, when we're dealing with our ex, and when it comes to dating new people. It's so easy just to put a name on someone. And I want to talk about that today. I want to talk about, the purpose of this episode is to really break it down because there are so many labels, so many titles, and I feel like sometimes people's true identity and who they really are get overlooked by this title. And it just becomes who they are. So I want to break that down a little bit today, and let's talk about these labels, these pop culture names that are all big in society today. Let's really dig into that. But before I do, I just want to put a reminder out there for you guys that are in the dating world. Well, actually, no, it's not so much dating. It's more so with your co-parent. It's my new texting guide, and it is the texting guide to texting your co-parent without the non-stop drama. I know what it's like when you get that constant back and forth messaging and you just think, shit, I don't know how to handle this. I'm over this. This whole guide, the purpose of this is to avoid that. It's just a simple one response, done. You've shut it down. You've shut down that conversation. It's how to actually engage in a conversation and communication with your ex where you're not constantly in a battle, because I do get it. I know what it's like and you just want to prove them wrong. No, that's not what happened. No, I didn't say that. No, I didn't do that. This whole guide avoids that. You don't get into this battle. You don't get into this drama. It's not about proving them wrong. And it even gives you ways, it shows you ways on what to actually do when you're communicating with them. So it's got a little pinpoint form or like a little checklist of what you need to really consider when you're communicating with your ex. And it's also got pages and pages of cut and paste responses of what you can say to actually just shut down a chat or shut down a conversation without it escalating, without it going further, without engaging into their crap nonsense. You don't need that. So if you're interested in that, jump onto my show notes. I do have that guide there. It is such a good book, and I honestly wish someone handed it to me when I first became a single parent, because when you first become a single parent or you're in that stage of just constantly fighting, you're constantly getting in the shits with them, then this is something that you need. Get your hands on it. It's in the show notes. So let's jump in and talk about all these buzzwords that are out there today, and let's really break it down. Welcome to the Life After Plus One podcast, where we turn life's lemons into delightful lemonade. Get ready for inspiring stories, uplifting conversations, and all the tips and tricks to rock your single parent journey with style. I'm your host, Leanne, and it's time to embrace the adventure of Life After Plus One. So let's dive in. So let's talk about all these words that are out there today. And there is so many of them. Now, don't get me wrong. I've got nothing against anyone working out who they are. I think it's great to take the time to actually self-reflect and look at what is going on. But the thing is, I think a lot of people are also very quick to not so much put a label on themselves, but they're quick to put a label on other people. And I feel like sometimes in today's society, it gets a little bit overused. And what I want to get at with this episode is, 1, are you sure you're correctly labeling someone? And 2, do you need to be really focusing on what their label is? Now, what I'm getting at with that last point is there is a trend these days to put a label on someone when you're dating them, when you're meeting them, when it's your ex. They're this, they're avoidant, they're toxic, they're narcissist, they're gaslighter, they're love bombing, they're trauma bonding, they're a red flag. Now, most of us know what these words are. I'm not going to break them all down for you today, but I feel like there is such a big trend out there today to focus on putting a label and a title on someone without actually getting to know the person. And it's so sad. And you see it a lot on social media. And the word that gets overused way too much is narcissist. And I've been using Threads quite a bit lately. I don't know if anyone's on there or not. And it's actually quite an interesting platform. It's just like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's just like a Facebook group where you're all one group and everyone can comment on anyone and anyone can respond to anyone. It's just like a big free-for-all. And it is. Brace yourself, because I'm going to throw a buzzword out with this one. It is toxic. It is very toxic because, like I said, it's a free-for-all. And you write something and mind you, it's not a place where you can share personal stuff. It's more like, from what I understand, it's more like a Twitter or an X. I've never used that platform, to be honest with you. But what I'm getting at here is I put a comment up and it was very neutral. There was no attacks. There was no taking sides. There was no like venting towards someone. It was just a neutral statement. And then it obviously triggered somebody. And they got on and said, typical narcissist comment. And I'm like, how the hell would you imply that I'm a narcissist from that comment? And that's the thing these days. People are just labeling, you're a narcissist, you're this, you're that. Just because someone says something you disagree with does not make them a narcissist. There are many different traits of what forms narcissistic behavior. And it is not one of someone saying something that you disagree with. It is not one where someone says something that you get triggered by. And I feel like that's the problem these days. So many people are quick to label them. And it's like their way of shutting people out, their way of pushing people away. And to be honest with you, I do believe this has a big impact on the dating world these days. And you see it. What's wrong with the dating world? What's going on? And I feel like this is a big problem with it. People are just wanting to label other people without even getting to know them. You're a narcissist. Don't gaslight me. Or if they don't respond quick enough, oh, there must be avoidant. Take the time to actually get to know somebody, because it really makes me cringe when I see people use these words such as narcissist and avoidant and trauma bonding and all these other things, and they don't even know the person. They've just given them this label. They've just slapped it on their head without even actually knowing what actually happened or what is going on, especially when you see it on social media when they say, oh, you must be this. How do you know they're this? You cannot label someone and give someone this identity based on one comment. And I really hate seeing it out there today. And I feel like that happens a lot in the online dating world. Someone might say a comment that you don't like. Oh, they're this. Oh, they're that. Oh, they're this. But you can't determine that behavior or that personality type or whatever else it is based on one comment. Because the biggest thing you need to really think about when people are writing things, whether it's on social media, whether it's on online dating, you don't pick up their tone. And I feel like so many people write things these days and like, oh, I was only joking. But more often than not, when people say that, they're quite often not joking. That's why they're saying it. But what I'm getting at is people do write things without even realizing that they're not going to understand their tone. They're not going to understand their sarcasm. We don't know this person. We don't know how they're saying it, how it's meant to be interpreted. And that's where a lot of times like shit just hits the fan, because it's like, oh, how could you say that? And people get so defensive about it. It's like, why are you caring about someone you don't know? But back to these labels, you can't just determine who someone is based on one message. And even with online dating, if someone sends you an initial message and they might introduce themselves and they might say a lot about themselves, which is not a bad idea. It's not a bad thing to do. And quite often people will do that. They'll introduce themselves and they might say a whole lot of, this is me, this is what I like to do. I like to go out on weekends. I like to go for walks on the beach, blah, 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 whatever else. They do a big explanation of who they are, which I think is a bit of a nice intro chat. But some people might think, oh, they're being a narcissist. They're just making it about them. That's not being a narcissist. There are so many different things that determines if someone has narcissistic personality disorder, because that's what it is. It's a personality disorder. It's not someone saying one comment you don't like. It's not someone talking a lot about themselves. And having one intro message where they introduce themselves isn't someone that you can say, oh, they must be a narcissist. No, they're introducing themselves because there's a whole lot of other factors involved that would make them a narcissist. You cannot just slap a label on someone based on one comment because it may have upset you. So I feel like this really needs to stop. And I can see this is having a big impact in the dating world because when people are getting messages, oh, they didn't message me back, they must be avoidant. Oh, they must be this. Oh, they must be that. And it's not just labeling other people, it's labeling themselves too. I'm anxious avoidant, or I'm this, or I'm that. And even just things that they've been through in their past relationship, they make it their identity. And please, please, please don't take this the wrong way because I know myself what it's like. I've been through a DV relationship and I got out of it and I've built myself up to where I am today. And I don't talk about that very often because I think it would be great in some ways to give people that support and awareness of what it's like to get out there and get out of a DV situation and get to the other side. But on the flip side of that, and a lot of people probably have mixed opinions about what I'm about to say here, is I don't like to make that my identity. And it's not that I don't like, well, I'm ashamed of it, because I'm not ashamed of it. It happened and I learned from it and it made me who I am today. Mind you, when you're going through it, when you first leave, yes, it's very shameful to talk about. But what I'm getting at is when people go through certain situations, they make that their identity. And I understand it's hard and it can hurt and it's a lot to move on from. It really is. But don't make that past relationship the story of your life. And don't make that label that you've figured out that you are, don't make that your identity either. What you want to do when you've figured out this is what you are, this is what you've been through, and this is, or the status of who you are, don't make it your identity. What you need to do when you figure out that's who you are, you need to actually go deeper with it. Okay, great. You know that. So what can we do to heal that side? What can we do to work on that? Because when you are anxious avoidant, when you are just avoidant, when you are whatever attachment style you are or whatever personality figure or label you want to come up with that fits your identity or someone else's identity, what can you do to work with it? Because it's great to have this label, but if you're not going to do anything with it, then not to be rude, there's no point having that label, because that's the whole idea. You want to figure that out so you can work out, okay, how can I make this work for my life? How can I change my situation to make it better? And I'm really, really sorry if me talking about that DV situation has triggered people, and I'm sorry if it does. But realistically, as someone that's been there myself, I've been through many times where I've had the police called and I've been locked out of the house, and there's endless situations that I can sit here and talk about in that relationship. But that was more than 10 years ago. And I've healed from that. I've moved on from that. I can sit here and talk about what I've been through for hours. Some of the situations I went through were literally horrific, where I honestly didn't think I was going to come out of it alive. And that's the truth. But I'm here today, and I'm not making that part of my life my story. And that's what I want to get at here. Now, I'm not telling anyone what to do, but I'm telling you, if you figure out this is who you are, and you know that this is your identity, well, not so much an identity, that's what I'm trying to avoid you saying, but if you figure out this is the label that fits with where you're at right now, what are you going to do to fix that? What are you going to do to work that into your life? Because it's not just about having a label and saying, this is who I am. It's just like all of a sudden you might lose your job and money gets a little bit tough and you go, oh, well, I'm broke and I don't have a job. This is who I am. So you just stop trying. You don't do that, do you? You get up, you look for another job, you find ways to get more money coming in. You do what you can to make your life better. Same with when it comes to you, your mental health, your emotional health, your relationships. You do what you can to make it better. You don't just go, I'm unemployed now, so that's my title. I'm just going to stop and this is where I'm at. Nobody does that. Nobody does that. And it's same with you, your mental health, your emotional health, your relationships. You don't just go, okay, I'm avoidant, done. That's it. And then you just continue on your dating life and everything else is normal. No, look further, do something about it. Like when you've lost your job, you don't just go, okay, I'm unemployed and leave it. No, you go look for jobs. You go do what you can. You may go study more to increase your skills, improve your skills. You do what you can to improve your situation. So same, when you find out this identity or you find out this label or you find out this title for who you are, don't just leave it there and put it in a little box and put it to the side and go, this is me. This is who I am. That's it. End of story. No, you've got it. Now work with it. Work with it. What can you do to make your life better? If you are avoidant, okay, what are you avoiding? What are you running from? What is it that you're not dealing with? Get to the bottom of the issue. And the same when you're dealing with someone else. If you're with a partner or you're in the dating world and you meet someone and you've gone and put a title on them. Now that's fine. But are you just going to give them this title and then run away? Or are you going to figure out, okay, this is who they are. How can I work with it? How can we work together to make it work? They seem like a nice person, but I feel like they're love bombing me. So I'm going to run. They seem like a nice person, but I think they're avoidant. So I'm going to run. And I feel like today's society has become more focused on putting a label or an identity on someone without actually focusing on getting to know somebody. Communication is such a big thing and it is so lacking in today's world because of social media and everything else. And you see it so much, and especially myself in business, people don't like to talk on the phone. And I've dealt with it a lot where you go to call people and they won't answer, but they might text you back because they're not confident enough to speak. And that is something that we need to put more focus on these days. Communicating with people, talking to people, that is such a big deal. And it's same when it comes to your mental and emotional health. People are using ChatGPT who has no mental health experience. Just for the record here, for those of you that don't know and are using ChatGPT as your therapist, ChatGPT is designed to say things to work in your favor. ChatGPT is designed to keep you using the app as long as possible. It's designed to favor your perspective. And especially when you're putting in something with your ex, it's always going to favor you. It's never going to favor the other person. That's what it's designed to do. So please stop using ChatGPT as a therapist because it's always going to just give you a one-sided perspective and it's going to favor yours. And that's what you want to hear. But really, as my job as a coach and other people out there such as psychologists and counselors, it's our job to challenge your perspective, not just go, yes, that's right, they said this, so they shouldn't have done that. No. That's the whole point. And I've kind of gone off on a bit of a tangent here, but this is why I'm so passionate about communication and talking to people. And it's lacking so much in today's world that people aren't even talking to handle problems these days. They're talking to AI who isn't equipped to handle problems. So the thing is, our world would be so much better if we spoke and talked about things and deal with things. Like, it's a known fact that isolation and loneliness is a biggest killer. Like the stress, the emotional side, and not having any companionship. If you stayed in your house all day, every day, like we all did during lockdown, you would be a mental case. I guarantee it. And I know for a fact I saw it with my grandmother who was in a home during lockdown and had no social interaction, and just her mood and her emotions just changed dramatically because she was like isolated. She had no social connection. And that's what happens when we lose that, when we don't have people to interact with and to relate with. People are just so dependent on social media and AI these days to fix everything and to resolve everything. And that's why we have these problems. People just want to put a label on something. Yep, done. Don't want to deal with it. Next, let's go onto social media again or the internet and find another person and put a label on them. How about we start actually dealing with problems? This is what we need in our world today. We need more communication. We need people to actually get out and talk to each other. We need people to actually realize it's not about just putting a label on it and then running to AI and getting them to fix it when it doesn't go right. It's about, okay, this is who I am. What can I do to maybe reframe this? What can I do to make this a little bit different so my dating world can become easier, so my co-parenting relationship can be easier? There's a label for everything these days, which is great. But you don't just want to have a label for the sake of having a label just to make it your identity. And I feel like this is such a big thing these days. You jump on social media and straight away there's people, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that. That's great, but don't make it your identity. And I know there's probably going to be people that are really upset by me saying this. They might be triggered. They might think, Leanne, you're a stupid bitch. What are you talking about? I'm not saying don't figure out why you're behaving this way. That's great. I am saying, though, that it's pointless if you're not going to do anything about it. It's pointless if you just want to get this little title and this label and just leave it at that and not do anything to progress your life or to make it better. Because that's what it's all about. It's about, okay, let's go inwards and let's look at what's going on. And I see that this is such a big problem. People aren't actually looking inwards. People are not self-reflecting. People don't want to deal with their emotions. Dealing with that F word, feelings. It's hard. People don't like dealing with those uncomfortable feelings for that exact reason. It is uncomfortable. People don't like getting uncomfortable. It's easier to stay in that standard everyday comfort zone life, even if it's not the perfect life that you love. You're probably miserable. You're not enjoying it. Well, mind you, if you are listening to this, you're probably not one of those people. It's the people on social media that are whinging and moaning at everyone. They're the ones that are miserable and not willing to do anything about their life. But it's about recognizing what is going on and what can I do to change it. And do I need to focus on having a label? Can I just work out why am I behaving this way? And this is such another big thing as well. People are not willing to self-reflect. People are not willing to heal. People are not willing to look at what went wrong. But then all of a sudden they get these behaviors. They start doing things in different ways. They might be getting stressed. They might be getting anxious because of all these things that are happening because they haven't dealt with them. They haven't dealt with anything. So then they start behaving differently and then they feel like they need to put a title on it. Well, hold on. Let's just go inwards and look at why. Because there's always something that is stemming that behavior. Now, whether it be something that needs medical attention for, that's something different. That is not my area of expertise and I'm not going to touch that. I'm not getting into that. But if you're dealing in certain ways in relationships and you know it's not working, you know it's not right, it's not about just saying, okay, I'm this, done. It's okay. What can I do? How can I heal from this? How can I fix this? How can I self-reflect? How can I look inwards? That's what it's about. It's not about just jumping on the internet, finding a label, and then jumping on the internet, speaking to AI and getting them to fix everything for you. Stop using the internet to come to be your mental health professional because it doesn't work like that. We as humans need human interaction. Any study will tell you that. Go out there and do your research. We cannot just live by ourselves. Isolation is a killer. Loneliness is a killer. We need human interaction. We need socialization. We need sunlight. We need fresh air. We need to get out. So instead of just constantly relying on a label or a title and jumping on the internet and going, okay, what's this? You know what? Get out. I'm going to go for a beach walk instead today. I don't need to sit on the internet and Google everything. I'm actually going to go out and catch up with some friends. That's going to make me feel better today, not finding out what this label is. I'm actually going to get to know this person a little bit better and see why they behave that way, because maybe they just had a shit day at work. Maybe something's happened and that's why they responded in a not so friendly way. There is so much more you can do than jumping on the internet and putting on a label and using AI to fix things. And that's quite often the thing that people forget. Yes, it's very easy to send messages and deal with things in a way that's not right. Especially when we've had a shit day, you might just jump on social media, you've had a shit day and you just see something that you don't like and you're like, boom, jump on and the comment triggered you and you've just kind of let it rip into this person. And we've all had those moments. No judgment if that's you, because I'm sure everyone's done it. But the thing is, when you see someone on the internet or you see someone on social media and they're venting like that, don't feel like you have to respond to them. Don't feel like you have to label them. Who cares what they are? You don't know them. But that's what you see all the time. Oh, you're a narcissist. You're this, you're that. You know what? They're not a narcissist from one comment, firstly. Second of all, you don't know what's happened in their day. There's a good chance they're responding that way because something shit is going on in their world. Because let's be honest, if they were in a good place, they probably wouldn't feel the need to respond in that way. Second of all, if you were in a good place, you wouldn't be triggered. You would just keep scrolling on and let it slide. Now, quite honestly, it is funny to shut some of those people down sometimes, isn't it? I'm not the one that likes to get involved in back and forth banter on social media, but when I see a comment that's absolutely ridiculous, I will jump on and shut them down. Like, for example, when I see comments about people saying that divorce and breakup destroy kids, when I see people say comments like, you must have failed if you've gone through a divorce, I see that a lot. It's unbelievable, especially since I just mentioned earlier when I'm on Threads. It is mayhem on there what they say about divorce and breaking up. Don't go there if it's going to trigger you. But those comments are out there so much. Those things I do shut down. Yes. So what I'm actually getting at with this episode really is it's great to do the work and actually look at why you're behaving a certain way or why you're doing certain things. But don't just stop there. If something is happening, is there something you can do differently? Is there something that you can change? Is maybe talking to someone a good way to get through this? Because putting a label on where you're at is not going to fix or change your situation unless you're willing to do anything about it. And let's be more cautious about labeling other people, especially people you don't know. You don't know anything about them. You don't know anything about what happened in their day. You don't know, maybe even their English skills or their literacy skills are not the best. Maybe they've come from another country and they're still learning and they don't have that grammar down pat and they don't have that, they haven't know how to verbalize things or write things correctly and it comes across in the wrong way. You don't know who this person is that you're speaking to. So don't just judge people, whether it be on social media, whether it be with online dating, based on one interaction. So when you're in the dating world and you're getting to know someone and you feel like they're displaying certain behaviors that align with something in particular. Oh, you're coming across as being quite narcissistic. Oh, you're coming across as being quite avoidant. Approach it with them. Don't just run, because running makes you an avoidant. Deal with it. If you're seeing someone that's displaying certain behaviors that you don't like or you're unsure of, don't just base this assumption of someone on one comment or one scenario. Actually get to know someone. Okay, this situation made me feel a little bit uncomfortable. Is this how you always handle stuff, or have you just had a shit day? What's going on? Get to the bottom of it. Talk. Communication. I cannot emphasize that word enough. Not just in relationships. Well, in all relationships, working relationships, kids, family, everyone, friends. Romantic relationships. Having a level of communication is key to any kind of good relationship. And you see it so much where people jump onto social media. I'm having this problem with my partner and I don't know what to do. Well, I'll tell you what to do right now. You talk to them. You talk to them. I don't understand why so many people run to social media. And this is the problem with today's society. I'm going to say it again. People are too scared to talk. They don't want to talk because they're so reliant on the internet. They're so reliant on just Googling things. They're so reliant on AI resolving everything for them. I'm really scared in like 10 years' time how everyone's going to turn out their mental health because they've relied on AI to fix everything for them. It's not fixing it. AI is just telling you what you want to hear. It's giving you your perspective. I even tried it once and asked it if it does that. It does. And it's known fact. It's a known fact. I've heard it on multiple different podcasts and seen it on different articles and stuff, how AI will just say things to favor your perspective. That's what it does. So please, when you're using it, be cautious, I should say, of how you're using it. I'm not saying don't use it because everyone uses it. I'm going to lie if I say I don't use it because I do use it. But to be quite honest with you, I use it because it is a time saver. So I talk to it. And it just writes it out and puts it in neat grammar for me. I don't ask it to do stuff. I don't ask it to write things for me because quite often I don't like the tone it uses. I don't like the way it comes out. I'll talk to it, put it in a neat format, in nice grammar. Put the grammar, because I don't know if anyone follows me on Instagram. I feel like this is another thing. I feel like I'm probably dyslexic and I haven't got that diagnosed because I just didn't want to have a label on it. I don't care if it is. If I am, I am. But I know you see me on Instagram, I make mistakes all the time. And it's just silly little mistakes where I'll leave out a letter of a word or I'll completely leave out a word. And 100% I'm dyslexic. I know I am. But it is what it is. What am I going to do? Go to a doctor, get it diagnosed. Okay, you're dyslexic. Okay, then what? Nothing. I'm 47 years old. There's nothing that can be done. It's something you've got to deal with. Nothing can be changed. So I don't need to label that. And some people, again, might think that I'm stupid, but it's not going to change either way. I'm pretty much 99% sure that I am. And maybe I should have had that diagnosed when I was in school. But back then, it probably wasn't even a thing. Wasn't even a thing back then to get dyslexia and all that stuff diagnosed. But, at the end of the day, people like Richard Branson, there's plenty of people out there that are dyslexic and quite successful. I'm not going to let it hold me back from anything. But I do sometimes see posts, and it's not until days later when people have maybe commented on something that I actually pick it up. I'm like, holy shit. And the shitty thing is about that, I don't just write a post and then hit post. I write a post, I proofread it, I edit it, I leave it in my edits for a while, go back, proofread it before I post it. And then once it's posted, I'll go back and read it again when it's posted. And I don't see any mistakes. And then I'll go back maybe days later, someone's commented or acknowledged something on there, and I'll go back and respond to their comment. And I'll see something, it's like, holy shit, I can't even delete that now. It's got too much interaction. What's the point? So I just leave it there. But I think most of my Instagram followers have figured it out now. That's Leanne, that's who she is. So I don't, it is what it is. If you follow me on Instagram, you're going to see lots of mistakes. Point it out. Have a laugh at me. I don't mind. I'm okay with it. I'm human. I make mistakes. I'm not an AI. That proves nothing. My stuff is not done by AI. It's done by me. But I do use it every now and then. I've gone off on a major tangent just then. But please, what I wanted to get at with this episode is don't be so quick to label people without getting to know them. Don't be so quick to label yourself unless you're not willing to do anything about it. If putting a label on you is not going to change anything, for example, in my situation where I know pretty sure I'm dyslexic, I haven't bothered with that because I know it's not going to make any impact on my life just by having that diagnosis. Nothing is going to change for me. It is what it is. I don't know. Is there stuff these days that I don't know if they're medicated? I don't even want to be medicated, even if there was, to be honest with you. I don't need medication because I'm dyslexic. But it is what it is. You've just got to make the most of it. So really, don't make a situation, don't make a scenario, don't make a title or a specific action your identity. Don't make it who you are. Like I could sit here and I'm dyslexic and use it as my identity. I don't need to. It's not who I am. Who I am Leanne. I am 47. I'm a single mom. I love my life. I run a business that I'm so passionate about because I myself was someone that was in your shoes many years ago. And as I spoke about earlier in this episode, I became a single mom when I left a DV situation. Walked out with nothing but a suitcase of clothes and my daughter, and I rebuilt my life from that. Now, occasionally I do share that part on my podcast episodes. I don't go into too much of that DV side. And the main reason for that is because I don't want to make this about me. I don't want to make this a negative storyline. I want to make my podcast as a way where I can help you and support you. And occasionally I will bring up my storyline and what I've been through as a way to show that I can relate to where you're at. But I don't want to sit here and just make it about me, because it's not a me thing. This is a place where I can offer support. I want it to be a place where I can make you all feel good. I want it to be a place where I can help you all grow and help you to be a better person, because that's the whole point in this podcast, not just this episode. This whole podcast is all about helping you see your life and see your situation for something better, like making something better from it. Don't just give up hope and say, I'm a single parent now. I'm unemployed now. Oh well, I'm stuck here now. No, don't make that single parent title. And that's another one. That's another label that people use. I'm a single parent. Don't use it as your identity. Yes, it's who you are for now. So you don't need to use that single parent title in a negative way, or in a way that you need people to feel sorry for you, because you don't need that. You don't need people to feel sorry for you, because really, when you learn to get through that hard place of being a single parent, you actually love where you're at. You don't need people to feel sorry for you. And if anything, you start to feel sorry for the people that are in relationships, because you look at them and go, fuck, I'm so glad I'm single. And I see it a lot. You go out to restaurants and coffee shops and you go out to places and you see couples bickering and you see couples just sitting there on their phone. And occasionally I've been out with my daughter and you see couples and they're just being nasty at each other, or you see someone being quite rude. And I say to my daughter, do not ever come home with a person like that. Me being protective mum. Not that she'd listen to me. Actually, I think she would. But anyway. So I think you've pretty much got the gist of where I'm getting at here. Know where you're at. Know why you're doing certain things. Understand what's going on. But don't just stop it there and make that who you are. Don't just stop it there and use it as a way for people to feel sorry for you. You don't need anyone to feel sorry for you because you're a single parent. Be proud of it. Love it. Own where you're at. And you don't, if you're leading someone to feel sad or guilty for you, or you're using it as a way to get more attention, then clearly there's some underlying issues there that you need to resolve. And don't take that in a disrespectful way at all, but it's an honest way. It's an honest opinion here. If you're looking for something, an identity or a label or something as a way to kind of get a little bit of attention, which people won't ever admit that. So I know there may be people that are triggered by me saying this. Oh, how dare she say that? That's not true. No one would ever do that. But it happens where people don't even realize that they're doing it. And when I say this, I'm not saying it in a way where I'm mocking anyone or making fun of you. I'm saying this in a way where I want you to realize that there is so much more to you than just a label. I want you to realize that you can get past where you're at. So don't just stop there and don't feel like you need people to feel sorry for you. I'm saying this because I want you to realize you have so much power and so much worth. So don't give up. Don't just stop there at this label or this title. Don't just think I'm a single parent. Oh, well. Yeah, be a single parent, but own it. Own where you're at. So once again, I hope I haven't triggered anyone too much. I hope I haven't upset anyone because I am a little bit too direct. I am direct. I don't sugarcoat shit. I will be honest with you, but please be aware that when I'm being honest, it's not coming from a place of you're an idiot or you're stupid for doing this. No. It's coming from a place of I know you have so much more worth and I want you to recognize that and I want you to take it up a notch. That's the idea. And my daughter, I love it a bit. She's one of the few people that actually get my brutal honesty. But I don't say it brutal. I shouldn't say brutal. I am very honest, but it's coming from a place of wanting you guys to do the best for yourself. And I do apologize again if I have upset anyone in any way by talking about certain topics today. But I come from a place of like total passion for what I do. I really do. I really love what I do. And I don't know if I've ever really mentioned this before, but that time that I first did leave my daughter's father and when I was at my low lows, I was really struggling. And I remember saying, when I get through this, I want to help other people because I didn't have the help. There was nothing around. There was no podcasts or anything like that. There was no eBooks around that I could just read at home. There was no one that I could sit down and just have a little Zoom chat with. Zoom chats were probably not even a thing back then when I broke up. And I'm like, I want to give back. When I get through this, I'm going to do the work and do what I need to do so I can help those other parents that are going through this, what I just went through. The mums and the dads, not just the mums. It's for all of you. And that's why I'm so passionate about it. I'm not just someone that's like, I'm here to make money off you or no, I'm here because I love it. I'm here doing this podcast for free because I love it, because this is what I want to do. I want to help and I want to change that mentality about single parents where, like I said earlier, there is such a huge belief that if you leave a relationship, you've failed. If you leave a relationship when you got kids, you've failed your kids. You've let your kids down. No, that is such an outdated belief. And this is my mission to really get rid of that stigma and make single parenting be more accepted. And it's not going to happen overnight, but with just these podcast episodes and people realizing the power of you and the power of what you have and what you can do with your life, that's where it starts. And making a difference and not just using that label to stop and give up. Use that label to keep going and do better. That's where I'm coming from. So if you're wanting to actually use that label to do better and you're wanting someone to speak about, then jump on and let's have a chat. I have the link to a free one-on-one chat in my show notes. And if you listen week after week and keep thinking, I want to do this, but I'm scared, I'm nervous, please don't. It is my job when I speak to you on a one-on-one chat to make you feel as comfortable as possible. I would never, and I never do, laugh at anyone, judge anyone, mock anyone. We all do some shit that we regret when we're going through our breakup as a single parent. Never ever would I say, that was so stupid. Why would you do that? Not at all. It is my job to listen to you. It is my job to support you. It is my job to make you feel as comfortable as possible. I do not judge you. And I do, most importantly, do not judge your co-parent. They're going through their own journey. It's not my job to belittle you. It's not my job to belittle your ex. It's my job to listen to you. And let's work out a way that we can reframe this situation so you can get through it in a better way without all this drama and stress. That's what I'm about. So jump onto the show notes. Oh my gosh, I'm a tongue twister today, aren't I? Full of blur. Jump on to the show notes if that is where you're at and you're wanting that help, that extra support. That one thing that single parents need the most, but they avoid doing. They think, I'm fine, I can get through it on my own. I'm fine. Saying you're fine doesn't mean you're fine. It means you're saying you're fine. You've actually got to deal with it. You've actually got to look at what's going on. Anyway, guys, that's it from me today. So I hope that resonated with some of you. Feel free to jump onto my Instagram page and ask me any questions. If you've got anything you want to ask me or anything you want to know, shoot me through a message. I love to hear from you all. And if you're loving the show, don't forget to give me a little 5-star review and a little comment and share it with your single parent friends. Tag it away. Let me know that you're listening and you're loving the show. So that's it, guys. Thank you all. And don't forget, if you're needing any information, it's all in the show notes. So until next week, I'll be in your ears then. Thank you for joining us on the Life After Plus One podcast. If you loved what you heard today and looking for some further support, then jump onto our website, lifeafterplusone.com. Plus, don't forget to check out our Instagram page for further resources and inspo. You can find all the links in the show notes. And remember, you're not alone on this path. I'm looking forward to seeing you on the next episode. And in the meantime, keep thriving, keep growing, and keep exploring your amazing life after plus one.